Greetings, Earthlings. It's finally time for the episode everyone's been waiting for. This week, Level 33 gets hot and heavy with our guest, the artist for Chapter 23, Tryst. Eclipse of the Mourning Star could not have happened without her. She was the inspiration, the editor, the coach, the layout designer, and she is the central heroine. She has been the subject of many a song written by Swallow Key, and she was also a member of the group. She is a female force to be reckoned with. Currently, she is a designer at Dakine. In the past, she has designed the Levi's Princess Mononoke collection and Nike accessories, to be brief. She began her career in fashion by pioneering her own line of women's handbags, in which she became a celebrity favorite and California's favorite it girl of handbags. Readers will recognize her from Eclipse of the Mourning Star as the suspected undercover angel known as Nico. She is the smile of my life, the topic of my prose, and the mother of my child. Please welcome Bryna Nicole.
Thank you. Wow. What an intro.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
thank you for being here in a separate room at our home. Uh, I couldn't fit her into the studio at the moment because I am getting ready for the audiobook and my setup is all kinds of jacked up at the moment. But I'm not going to waste any time today in thanking you, Bryna, for this book. Um, I wouldn't even know where to begin, but you are a huge part of the why of this book. So,
Thank you.
listeners, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Listeners, if you want to know how we met, you can buy the book and read it. It's probably a good thing to do. But today I want to talk about your expertise in the field because you have blown my mind with your ability several times. It's almost like when I see you work, I am shocked and I feel like I never knew you to begin with. I can tell a story about that a couple of times. Actually, most recently, if you recall, you jumped on a piano and started playing Moonlight Sonata. Is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The easy version.
Yeah. So she just bust us out. And I knew she was classically trained as a pianist, kind of.
I'm
But
very rusty.
man, I've been humbled by you so many times in our time together. And that was another one. I had to go check my ego because I've made many albums and I have no idea how to play Moonlight Sonata or anything of that caliber. And she is full of surprises. A very still mysterious woman to me. But in regards to the book, I'd like to talk about the table of contents, which was one of my favorite creations. And basically, I had a vision for how I wanted the round table of contents to go. And so I was trying to lay that out in Photoshop, I think. And basically, there are 33 chapters, and I wanted them to orbit around a circle. So I was doing this by hand, trying to equal out the distance between 33 chapters and titles. So Brina came home and saw me doing this, and I have this great story that at the time I think you might have even had two jobs and a two side projects that you were working on. So this woman sees what I'm doing, offers to help me in Illustrator, and she says, I can do this really quickly. There's basically a mathematical equation that will make the 33 points equidistant from each other. And I guess I like doing things the hard way, always. But
Hmm.
I also knew you were, I I heard that tone. Um, but I also knew you were really slammed with everything you were doing, and I didn't want to add even more to your plate that you were already helping with the book. So this woman offers to do it. She opens up Illustrator, and she's at the time also you're on the phone with someone in China talking about materials of
Trying
some
to get
sort.
those bags made.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trying to get some bags made,
I know. I
talking.
remember now.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes I like to think I'm really good at something, and I have a wide knowledge of programs and the arts. And then I see somebody who actually knows what they're doing, and so I'm sitting over Brina's shoulder, and I remember like slumping down to the floor, like as I'm watching you just calculate, and I didn't even know that Illustrator could do what
It was
it was
like just
doing.
a tool or something, I think. I don't even know if I could do it again now, but I knew there was a way to do it. I knew there was a fast way, and there was just a tool where you set, like, I want this to radiate 33 times. This is the size of the circle. Here's all the text. Boom.
Boom, done. Much easier than clicking and grabbing each point and trying to make
And
them equidistant.
doing it by eye. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I know you were a perfectionist, so I knew you wanted it to look perfect. And I knew that was going to take a long time to get there, I have no doubt you would have gotten there. But, you know,
Yeah.
if I
Took
figured I
me.
could try for 5 minutes to figure it out, then why not? It took more than
And
5 minutes.
you have been very helpful in that regard of many aspects of the book of streamlining the process for me. I think you see me struggling a lot and just jump in and offer a new way, which I always resist. Um, but then as I suffer through the next, you know, hour or day of working on something, I'm like, all right, I guess I better listen to somebody telling me what to do. But I wanted to
Just
talk about,
suggestions.
yeah, I wanted to talk about your expertise, and let's just focus on Adobe right now because I know you have a wide uh, net for all of the fashion things that you do. But how did you become so good at Adobe?
Um, well, thank you for saying that I'm good. It's been a long, I've been using it for probably 20 years almost now, so I hope I'm okay. And it's just I'm in there every day, and it's these programs are insane. Like the more you use them, the more they're just endless, the things you can learn and little tricks and hotkeys and different tools like that one that I looked up. And a lot of it's just like Googling, how do I do this in Illustrator? How do I do this in Photoshop? So but I design all the bags that I design in Illustrator. I've learned over the years how to use the integrated like tools, even I measure them out life size within the program. And I use it so much. I don't know,
Mm,
you figure it out. And
yeah.
just always wanting to learn, always knowing that I don't know everything.
Hmm.
I did learn a little bit of it in fashion school and then just started using it as soon as I was designing my own stuff. And it's pretty much the most common tool for a fashion designer. I think
Hmm.
if you get into industrial design, they use more of like CAD tools like SolidWorks and stuff that's more like 3D, like technical, which I would love to know more of, but I'm not really in that field enough. But
Hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think just using it a lot.
Well, talking about designing your own stuff, let's talk about that for a minute because I know a lot of women that we've come across that are eager to get more Bryna Nicole bags, and they've become kind of this uh, vintage. Right now, they're vintage, and
They are
they're
officially vintage.
yeah, and they're out there still and taking up space in my garage too.
Hmm.
Are a few of those awesome bags, which sometimes you're like, let's just throw them away. And I'm like, no way, man, they're so beautiful. So let's talk about that career path for a minute. Um, I guess it's silly to ask a woman why would you want to make handbags?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Back then when I made them, when I started my line, it was like there were really only like the high-end luxury bags, and then there was like cheap, Walmart bags. There was no in-between market. And I guess that kind of dates me because there's now so many, brands that cover the whole
Mm,
spectrum of price range. But
hmm
I just saw like a hole in the market for like, a $300 to $500 really nice bag, but that wasn't costing you $2,000 for like a
hmm
Prada. So that was kind of the inspiration. And I did, design my own line for almost 10 years
Yeah.
and met you just at the tail end of that. But yeah,
So,
it was, sorry,
sorry, sorry to
no,
interrupt.
I
Um,
didn't, I'm good.
you good. You didn't want to talk about that anymore anyway. But I'm gonna ask a couple more questions anyway. So I know you were bouncing back and forth going to New York, kind of trade shows. Is that right?
Yeah, when I had my line.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much
Yeah.
Vegas and New York for all the
Well,
big trade shows.
even today, you and the team kind of have to go to fabric shows
Hmm.
and different places and source your fabrics. Such a
Hmm.
fun part of uh the industry, I think. But
Hmm.
I wanted to ask, or I wanted to touch on your celebrity endorsements, right? Like, there's this photo. Another shocking moment for me in knowing you was just like digging through your phone or something, looking for an old photograph of you, or we were building your website. I forget
Yeah,
what we were
through
doing.
old. Yeah, I don't remember.
And then there's a photo of you and Paris Hilton with your bags. And I'm like, dude, you met Paris Hilton? What the? Oh my goodness.
She owns a Bryna Nicole, yeah?
That's awesome. That's super cool.
I don't
So,
know.
how did that come about? You were tell me how that came about. So,
That was,
I'm asking for uh I've learned that there are a lot of people out there who are trying to start their own brand in handbags or the to find a niche within
yeah,
the handbag industry. So, maybe for someone who's coming up, like how did you score that?
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a totally different world now. So that was like in 2008.
Mhm.
And did we even use social media that much then? I don't know. Maybe Facebook was new.
I think I
I don't know
created
what
mine in
year.
2008, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was not an influencer. They did not exist. It was all about celebrity placement.
It was
If
just Paris
you,
Hilton.
I mean, I got Paris. I got Khloe Kardashian before she was even famous.
Oh, really?
My big placement was Blake Lively on the show Gossip Girl.
Nice.
And before, I mean, she was pretty huge on people know who Blake Lively is. She's Ryan Reynolds' wife. How about that?
How do I not know that? I knew that. I knew that
Yeah,
actually.
she's been on that soccer show.
But I didn't that soccer show. It's called Wrexham.
Wrexham, the soccer show.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I when I was launching my brand, it was the only way to really get any traction and get recognition was to get your bags on a celebrity. So I actually did work with a PR firm back then, which I think it looks totally different now, I'm sure.
Mhm.
But I did work with a PR firm. They helped me place bags. They got the one on Gossip Girl. But then actually Paris, I met her in person. I went with a friend to the Sundance Film Festival in Park City one year. And
Cool.
my friend owned a boutique. She was having a little like booth where she had like a gifting parlor where the celebrities would come through and kind of score, free stuff from her boutique. And she offered me to set up a little station next door to that. So
hmm
I
Awesome.
did give her the bag for free, I will admit. But that's where I met
Of course.
Paris. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that
So
again, another shocking moment in our relationship of she had never mentioned the fact that she bumped into Paris Hilton
yeah.
uh at Sundance. Pretty cool moment. I keep finding these cool moments of how cool you are. Just you never cease to amaze me.
Thank you.
And speaking of which, um I was pretty amazed by your artwork in the book. And so I wanted to jump into that and talk about it because we get to see each other's process a little bit. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how you came up with the piece for the book?
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but the chapter is kind of where I make my appearance.
Hmm.
And so that was what's the word I'm trying to say? Anyway, you assigned that chapter to me, which made sense. And just in reading the chapter, which, is one of my favorites, uh, you just had a way with, and I think somebody like in the industry has commented on this, but your description of how we met and fell in love and just how we were like instantly connected is just so compelling. And me being the subject of it, obviously, it hits me and pulls all my heartstrings. But my favorite line of that chapter was just describing how we fell in love, and it goes, forever falling. I mean, this is the secondary part of the line, I think, forever falling through a vortex of star clusters. And
Hmm.
that phrase just always resonated with me because it was so spot on just how I felt when we met and when we were um, going through that awesome first, however long, I don't know, lasted a long time. We're still in it. We're still in the vortex.
Yeah,
We are definitely still in it.
definitely still in it. Falling
But
faster
yeah,
and faster, I think.
yeah. So
Um,
anyway, that phrase really inspired me, and I wanted to create a piece based on that, those words specifically. And I mean, I didn't choose to use Illustrator because any opportunity I have to do another kind of medium or craft, or I'm real crafty. I don't know if I'm very great at anything, but I love like hands-on projects. And this actually gave me the chance to do something different. So I busted out the acrylics and a canvas, and I
hmm.
used a very highly technical technique called splatter painting to get my stars in the right place. But
Yeah, well,
yeah,
I mean, oh, you didn't end up using I wouldn't let you use the
well, it had to be
turntable.
black and white. Oh,
Yeah, weren't you going to use a turntable at one point to do the splatter
yeah,
painting or
to
something to
make
that
the
effect?
spiral. I think I tried it. It got a little wild.
Yeah.
No, I think I did use it.
You
I think
did
I
use it.
did
Yeah.
because it was
Yeah.
like
You
it
used
was a
the
little wild, but yeah, it's
So
in there.
basically you put the canvas on the turntable, right? And
Yep.
press play.
And started dripping paint, like tiny drops of paint off my paintbrush, and let the turntable spin the canvas around. Sorry, I
Where's
need
she
to let the
going?
dog in.
Oh, I thought maybe
Rocky. She
uh
was burning up. She was sunbathing.
oh, we didn't get to
Sorry.
see her.
No.
Okay. Um, yeah, that was a
Anyway,
really cool technique I thought you came up with to do that. And so I'll come back to the rest of the subject matter in a moment. But I did want to mention that that line. I did have it, I just pulled it up from the chapter, and I will read the full line.
the full thing. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll read the full paragraph. And the reason why is because I just remembered that I have this habit of creating something and I love what I've created, which is a rare thing. Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I'm glad we're recording this. Can I get a sample of that?
So, yeah, at the time, I was using Facebook as kind of my poetic journal, and I would post things on there. And I did write this out thinking about you, and I posted it. And somehow like nothing I ever post makes the rounds anywhere or becomes big. But do you remember this random woman contacted me and asked if she could use the line in
Oh
her
yeah.
wedding
Yes.
vows, um, with
Yeah.
with permission. And I was so humbled and honored. Of course, I said, yes, please do. Um, and I only asked that you record it and send me a video, which she never did.
Did she ever? Yeah, no, we didn't get to see that.
No, hopefully the wedding went on.
Yeah.
But yeah, the line was, by the time Nico agreed to become my bandmate, the tension was like a heavy nucleus split in two that collided back together at the speed of light, resulting in an explosion of energy channeled into musical instruments. And time raced apace as if we were forever falling through a vortex of star clusters. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the one.
that's the one. And that was the line that you mentioned an industry person who commented on this line, and that person was the editor of the book, Joe. And you know that it was such a big thing for me to like. I feel like it's good, you know. I can get in my head really hard about that. I think every day, you know.
Hmm.
S and for me, just like the nod of academics was something I was both, you know, how do I say this right? Because people get the wrong impression when I say this and think that I'm looking for approval. And I'm not per se, but no one can deny that it feels good to be recognized by particularly an editor who has edited thousands of books.
Yeah.
So when I saw his note in one of the editorial passes, uh, it was definitely one of the highlights of the whole process. And I think his line was something to the effect of, I'm abridging this, but I've read many descriptions of love in my life, and this is my favorite. And
Hmm.
that meant a lot coming from him. And yeah, so that was the inspiration behind the painting. And do you want to talk a little bit more about kind of the subject matter?
Well, are we assuming people have seen it, or should I describe it? If I can describe it. We're
Yeah,
on,
they're going
or
to
you'll put it in the post, right?
yeah, I put it in the post with
Mm.
the podcast. So yeah, they will be able to see it there.
Yeah, so basically it's two profiles, a man and a woman, Robert and myself. And it's basically just shows that the two of us combined within the same circle. And then through the profiles, you can see the spiral, which is the vortex of the stars and the galaxies and the nebulas. And I actually used like a really cool iridescent acrylic that I don't know came through in the final print, but we tried to keep it black and white. But we have the canvas here, and you can kind of see the iridescent blue green just to kind of get that nebula feeling. But just showing like our whole our beings just being intertwined and are inseparable. And I was really pulling on those feelings from, when we first met, and it was like we were just connected instantly. And
Mm.
um but just in like a whirlwind, we met, we did music, we went to Costa Rica, we went to Paris. We just were like we were stacked in this tiny apartment, but like didn't care because we were so in love. And you know,
Yeah, I forgot about
just
that.
tried to capture all of that and really like go with how you described it in the book, but how you described it was really how it felt. So that made it easy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it turned out beautifully and perfect for the chapter, I think. Obviously, it was one of my favorite pieces to receive, and
Thank
um,
you.
I'm glad you got to pick up the brush again. That was one reason I was happy to get you in there because I know how much you love painting, and you could have whipped this out on Illustrator or Photoshop or something, but at the
Might have
time,
been better.
Yeah,
I am not a very great painter, but this was a simple enough thing, I think.
yeah. At the time, you were um pretty disconnected from how do I say that? You needed a break, I think, from
Hmm.
we all need a break from the devices and the
Hmm.
amazing technology that I love so much. And that's why it's we need a break because I'm happy to be down here all the time creating on all of these applications. But both of us actually got to paint for the book, and
Hmm.
that was uh, a hidden blessing.
Well, I think a lot of the artists, at least the ones you've had on so far, or I mean, all of them that we've heard from, I know you've said they've thanked you for the opportunity to just kind of get out of their day-to-day creation because they're all creative, obviously, right? And a lot of them do
Hmm.
it for a job. And I think especially those really appreciated the opportunity to like get out of that space and do something different and have a different kind of motivation besides, oh, I have to do this for work. Something that they believe in. They believed in the story, they believed in your project. So I think was refreshing for everyone involved.
I think so too. I've talked about that a couple
Yeah.
times. Um, there were a couple of people who I really was worried about that. Um, they had so much going on in their lives, and I actually, had a couple of people drop off completely,
Hmm.
who were doing the artwork, and life gonna life, as said would say. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, many people wrote back and talked about what a great vacation it was from life to do it. Mine was not exactly like that. It was and it wasn't, but I guess that's how I work. Um, Learning every day to enjoy uh creating.
I think you did in the end. It took a while to get there. I think you wanted it to be a certain thing. You just needed to figure out how to get it there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, speaking of all the artists, I mean, I don't know if everyone realizes, but Robert's decision to bring on 33 artists to work with happened about maybe 6 weeks at most after our son was born. And I don't know, I wonder, obviously it was very important to you to do it. It was very important to you to do it then because we were in the thick of it, with the
Hmm.
baby. And
We were in the shit.
I just yeah, literally. And I just remember you coming upstairs one day and I was like a zombie, hadn't slept, but it was like, I have this great idea. I'm going to enlist all these people. Pretty much like they have already signed up, I think.
Hmm.
Maybe you threw a post up and they had already all signed up. And it was like, okay, so I'm going to do this. And it was like, okay, we have a baby here and we're just going to do this.
Yeah.
So just curious how that all, what that was, how that all came about in your mind and the timing and everything, how that was for you.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is pretty simple. It's David's fault.
Your brother.
Yeah, my brother Dave definitely pushes my buttons a lot intentionally. And of course, I don't like to be told what to do. No, let's talk about this for real. Basically, what I'm trying to allude to is a conversation that my brother and I were having about fatherhood. And I had heard this from a few different people, this concept that once you have a child, your life is over. And as an artist, that's a scary notion, And at the stage that I was in with the book, which was finished, by the way, I could have just released it at that point. But I always had this vision for illustrations, and that varied. And the original idea was to have 33 different people do it for each chapter. And then I had the dream of, like every author does, scoring the, maybe not every author, but scoring a publishing deal through an agent. And I knew I had done some research and was preparing myself for what it's like to work with a publishing company. And one of the things I had learned was, once the book is written, it's pretty much out of your hands as an author, and the publishing company
Hmm.
then takes over everything. And so I would assume that they would want to choose the illustrators. That's maybe not the case, but
Mm. Or
the
whether they would
layout,
even allow you to do it.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
going to be filtered through many amazing editors and many ideas basically to sell books. And one of the things that early on I had heard was you don't get to choose the cover. And that was pretty surprising to me. And uh, so over the course of a couple years while writing it, I definitely let go of that idea of me owning what the book would look like when it was done. So when I decided to self-publish, I had the opportunity, and it kind of struck me. I realized that. Um,
Mm. Hmm.
And so this answer kind of goes hand in hand with, I'm going to go ahead and jump to another question I think I know you wanted to ask, which was about the agent search and searching for agents. Is that
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of what?
I wanted to ask you just, I know it was just one of the hardest parts of the post production. After you were done writing, you thought, here we go, it's all done. And then come to
Yeah.
find out that this agent search was just such a beast.
It was a beast, and it was something like many of the stages of this book, if I'm sure most people could guess, but if you didn't know, uh, Bryna, you're amazing, and you have picked up the ball so many times on this book when I was beat down by the subject matter, by the there's many times you want to quit, and I believe, as David Mamet would say, every hero wants to quit. Not that I'm a hero, but my point is that during the agent search, that was something that I think I sent like one out and was like, I don't think I can take this rejection. And you stepped in and helped and found some people to you always do this for me. It's just like get the ball rolling. If you can get the ball rolling, that I will
Hmm.
eventually get back in the game. But that's something that couldn't be overstated. That rejection is a big part of uh, the literary world. And we'll talk more about that later. But so the rejection was really kicking my ass, and I think on the scale of like how hard did I go on the agents, like I am pretty confident in this book. And so there was always this like, do I want to pass this on to other people? Because I feel pretty good where it's at. It needed it 1,000%. And I would have loved to have other people perfect it. But, I had the opportunity. I basically looked at it in a different light and thought if I'm going to self-publish, then it just dawned on me again. I could do the 33 artists, and I
Yeah.
do know that many, and they
Yeah.
could step in and do it. So without becoming too long-winded, these two things were happening at the same time. This whole transition of becoming a father and also being an artist and an author at the time that the book was finished just a few months before um, our son was born. And then, yeah, I think you hit it on the head with the sleep deprivation was another big one. Like I was
Hmm.
not as
Yeah, I don't know
that
how
played
you
a huge
juggled all
factor.
that.
Well, it had a big part to play. I was pretty delirious and didn't know.
Maybe you had to be delirious in order to decide to do that crazy thing.
Yeah, because there was many points in doing it while chasing the artist that I was like, what did I do? Oh no, this is going to take a while, which basically took another year um, to gather all that art and to get it put together.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But you have said what a blessing it has been to be able to reconnect with all those artists and work with them and get a little inside view to their life these days because a lot of them you haven't seen for a long time. And
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
it
so
all works out.
it does. And another huge part of that was, I think, in the life of being an artist, where there's this unspoken thing that no matter what someone works in. I think there are varying degrees of just how difficult it is out there. Whether and the artists range in this book, it's that's one of the most beautiful things about it. There's furniture designers, 3D designers, even dancers. I could go on, and I will on the podcast to honor these people. Um, Designers, photographers, painters. Um, it just goes on and on and on. Olympic gold medalists. Um, so, what was my train of thought? What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, I think if I was going to make an observation, we're at a point right now where the fine artists and the corporate artists are maybe a little nervous. AI exists and it's coming on strong. And this unspoken thing that we have as artists is the shared struggle of what that is. It's also is definitely a badge of honor, that we wear. And it's a respect amongst artists. So for me, it was like I had this opportunity to invite everyone, but particularly 33 will be chosen to be a part of the book and honor them and promote them really.
Hmm.
And so that became more and more the motivation behind sticking to this. And several times during the book, someone was like, "Why don't you just use AI?" And I was like,
Cringe.
"No, thank you. It's amazing. It's great. It's a tool. It's awesome." Someone recently just told me
Mm.
about they heard music that was AI music, and they told someone that it wasn't, or that they didn't tell them that it was AI music, and they really liked it, and they was like, "Oh my God, so we can do this." Just like,
Mm.
okay, cool. That's where we're headed. That's cool. Maybe there will be a audience for that over there, but I'm always gonna like Sabbath
Keep it
and
old school.
you know
Hmm.
music, people that playing it. It was always a thing in electronic music. Sorry, I'm babbling on. I could go on about all of this, and this AI is a tool, and if used correctly, it could be amazing, I'm sure. I'm not down with it. There's some things I just like. I don't use a lot of software for my music or anything like that. I like there to be an analog synth. I love the electronic sound. But
Well, I
anyway,
was just telling that to somebody. I forget who I was talking to, but they were asking about your music, and it was like, well, he created it electronically, but he always made it with the vision of it being played live on stage by actual instruments, not just a bunch of synths up there. So that's always
hmm
been something that's really been true to you, the analog modality for everything, really. And I'm
yeah,
not surprised because you keep it real
I
through
try to
and
keep it
through.
real. And these conclusions are come to after research, like, yeah, there's taste and just like what draws you to something, but also, you know, I've read the Bible of electronica, you know, and where it began, and the first people to create synthesizers, and what it takes to create a
Hmm.
synthesizer, and the different movements. And in America, you know, I like to think like, they say the Midwest is 10 years behind California and New York, and America is 10 years behind the rest of the world when it comes to electronic music. And
Electronic, yeah.
yeah, and there are some, it will never be accepted. This is the land of rock and country. Um,
Hmm.
but and there's nothing wrong with that. But as I was performing and all of that, and knowing, intentionally trying to create obscure stuff. But what I noticed in America was it's not electronic music that is the problem. It's particularly the electronic beat. and the lack of a drum set and a drummer on the stage. And if you
Mm,
put a drummer and a drum set on the stage with the stack full of, they don't even give a shit where the rest of the music is coming from. Yeah, we've grown a lot, and now there are EDM festivals and all that. But in the beginning of all of that, that's kind of just what I observed was something I knew to be true when I was listening to a lot of electronic music was I needed to see it played, and a lot of people don't, and they press play, and they with a microphone they will
hmm
play their whole album, and that's fine, but you're missing out on the connection with an audience to see the music performed live, which you
hmm
got to
hmm
show your skills when we played live with Swallow Key, and there was one particular
hmm
synthesizer lick that you had to learn, and I had written electronically, and you
hmm
heard it for the first time and were like, "That's not possible to play," but you learned it, and we played that one show,
It
and
was awesome.
it was so good. It was so good. That was with Zach in the book who passed away, and he was so over the moon for that performance. But yeah, I think that applies also to all art forms. I will always love painters, no matter what.
Yeah.
And if you ask me personally, if you show me a painting from our child and show me an AI masterpiece, I'm going with the one who put the poop. Obviously, that's a bias subject matter,
We
but
used an actual paintbrush.
yeah, you get my point.
hmm
Um,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
old ways, as they would call it. Wow, that
Yeah.
happened fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So should
let's
we
see.
talk about a couple exciting things we have coming up for the
Hmm.
book?
Brand new stuff, actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Let's see. We have a couple trips coming that I'm lucky enough to get to tag along for your
Yeah,
readings.
yes. So we're doing a book tour, and I'm really excited about it. And we actually next week we're going to have Harold Hensley on the show, and we're going to talk about the first of the shows, which is in Ohio on September 27th at the Baijiu Theater.
I can't wait to see this theater. If anyone's read the
Yeah.
book, he's talked about it in the book, but I've heard about this theater like since day one of meeting him. It's like he grew up in this little cute small town, and then there's this cute little small theater. Well, it's probably not that small, but and I get to
No,
go
it is.
and
It is
see
pretty
it.
small.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were children, it was gigantic, this amazing, larger than
Yeah.
life theater. So I can't wait to go back there and honor that theater. Um, and I'm so happy that the owners are keeping it alive, and I hope to see everyone there. And I will be reading passages from the book and doing a Q&A with Harold, and we might sneak in a performance from with Harold there, but we're trying to get the after party.
That would be
Um,
cool.
yeah, hopefully that'll land at the Florentine
But
right
for
down the
sure,
street.
he's gonna play after. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for
Okay.
sure.
Maybe not for sure yet.
Well, it depends on whether or not we can score the venue. There's not a lot of venues in Germantown,
Mm,
and so if it makes sense, there will be a public performance. But if it doesn't make sense, then we get Harold all to ourselves,
got
probably
it.
under a starlit night somewhere,
Nice.
which I am always down with.
We'll have to keep Hawk up past his bedtime. Well, luckily he'll be on California time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So
So,
excited
real
to
quick,
go ahead
a couple people have asked me, can they get tickets there, or where do people get tickets for that event for all
for
you
sure.
Ohio listeners?
Yeah. The name of the book is Eclipse of the Mourning Star, and it has a website, eclipseofthemorningstar.com. And what everybody should always try to remember is morning is spelled Mourning. But to keep it simple, it's eotms.com/events. And you'll see all the events coming up there, which are four that are locked down right. I'm sorry, two are locked down right now out of the four that we're going to do in each region of the country. So yeah, you can get tickets at eotms.com/events, and there will be tickets at the door. Um, And if you'd like to, we'd love to keep a head count so you can RSVP on the website or shoot me a message and let me know you're coming so we can save the seats. Um, yeah,
Oh,
that's for that one.
yeah. I just think a couple of people have reached out and we want to make sure you can show up on the day of. But yeah, we'd love to know everyone that's coming. We're
Yeah.
excited to see everyone.
That's going to be so cool.
And Hawk will be in attendance.
And Hawk will be there. And I have no idea how that's going to go. I've been thinking about that. It's just going to
Yeah,
happen. He's
we
probably
might
going to
have
be
to
a,
wait in the lobby.
nah, he'll probably be a part of the show, is what I'm guessing.
Give him some lines.
Oh, I'm sure just he'll be sitting there saying, podcast, podcast.
Yeah. Cookie.
He just randomly says podcast now. Podcast. Okay, you want
It's
to do a
better than
podcast?
the F
Okay.
word.
Uh-oh.
Somehow,
Yeah.
someone started saying the F word yesterday.
Yeah, I have no idea where he learned that, Bryna.
No idea.
Yeah, that's so
Anyway,
cool,
let's
dude.
encourage podcasts as much as we can.
Yeah, I am trying to keep a straight face when he's around and let Mama
Yeah,
do her thing, but it's kind of
it's not
hard.
working.
I definitely am sitting there recording it. Um, we
I've
will
never
try to
told
do
him
that too.
not to say a word. And so now here
Well,
I am, like, don't say that.
now he wants to say it even more.
He thinks it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a moment in parenting that I was dreading from the beginning. It's here finally. That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
when it happened. I was like, what am I gonna do? I've spent my whole life like trying to feel comfortable cursing in any environment, and now I have to start a fucking swear jar or something.
hmm I
Anyway,
just don't want his teachers being like, oh, so Hawk's teaching all the kids all the profanity.
it would be like father, like son. I definitely got in trouble at school for it. Um, over there at Valley
Okay,
View
anyway,
Elementary. So
yeah.
anyway, I could go on about
After
Hawk
Ohio,
all day. Yeah. After Ohio, we have a new development, and I'm really excited about that one too. We were going to Savannah earlier in October, and now we have the opportunity to do a reading at Ex Libris bookstore on Halloween. And so we're going to make a big deal out of it,
gonna be
and
so cool.
we're going to be in costume, and I'm going to read the Halloween passages from the book and the spooky passages from the book and the Savannah passages from the book and one chapter that got cut from the book um, regarding the Savannah Film Festival. And uh, for those who've read the book, Ethan Gold is in it, and he has a prominent role in one of the chapters. And his twin brother Ari is a filmmaker, and there was a chapter written about Ari and my time with him because I kind of gotten introduced to the Savannah Film Festival at the time that Ari was premiering one of his films. And so,
That'll be cool. That's a
yeah,
great one to add.
I was bummed to cut that chapter, and I'm going to read some passages from that too. And so the Savannah Film Festival is a big part of the Savannah part of the Savannah section of the book, and it's just this magical time in Savannah, but also it's a place where we will go and try to shop the book around, and we're just going fishing,
Hmm
basically. And Bryna and I are going to go to some of the events and talk to some of the industry folk that are there and attend the film festival and also enjoy the film festival, and enjoy being back in Savannah for the first time.
I
And
can't wait.
I know, me
I've never
either.
been.
It's so beautiful, and I've just been getting more and more excited since we were struck with this idea. And
Hmm
it seems too perfect to pass up. And some friends from the book and some artists from the book that are in that region are going to join us at Ex Libris. Some people are traveling to be there, and so it should be quite the the reading and question and answer session at Ex Libris there. So that one also you can RSVP for at eclipseofthemorningstar.com/events and find the event for Savannah or eotms.com/events.
And
Yeah,
hopefully the movie will be next.
maybe the movie will be next. Yeah, that's the goal.
Well, not next, but what's next?
What's next? What's next? What's in XET?
After the
Um,
Fel festival. Well, I mean, that is in October, but I guess before the festival, you're planning to release, hopefully, the
the
audio book.
audiobook. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I'm trying to, again, bear with me. This is a lot to self publish and self produce and self tour manage and book and all of that. So the audiobook will be coming out sometime during the book tour, which is taking place between September and December. Um, I'm still trying to book San Francisco and Los Angeles, and I might have a lead on Los Angeles actually. But if anybody knows any bookstores that might be open to it, you kind of learn as you go. When, for any aspiring authors that are out there, here's a tip that I wish I would have in all of this realized. I'm surprised it wasn't more readily available. But when booking your book tour and events, make sure they coincide with the week or very soon after your book release. And I kind of dropped the ball because, baby.
Nobody
And
told us that.
yeah, I hadn't noticed that one before. And so the New York City bookstores are out, and I'm still fighting for it has to be somewhere in Los Angeles and San Francisco. I must go pay homage to the people and the cities
You
that are
will.
in there. I think I have one for Los Angeles. We did have a hopeful response this week, but and maybe San Francisco,
And the one
but
in
we'll
San
see.
Francisco. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll make that
Um,
happen.
I will say, I will say, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, damn it. It's a little surprising that as someone who, supports independent bookstores by walking in there and purchasing books and coffees and pastries, that those bookstores that I frequent in my neighborhood won't turn around and support the independent authors supporting the independent bookstores. Hmm. But I love those bookstores and we should all go support them instead of Amazon that will. Oops, I should probably cut that line. Support Amazon too and buy my book wherever you want. I'm not one of those authors. I like my book to be sold. So, but local bookstores are amazing and but I'm also,
It would be cool to be able to do a reading at the one right down the street, huh?
yeah, my
Hmm.
favorite bookstore. But, I'll take the hit. It's my fault. I should have uh I could have known. And
Is that
the
what
next
they
book
said? They said it was because it was released too long ago.
I had to chase them for a response, and
Mm-hmm.
that's another part of the rejection of all of this stuff. Is like you don't know. A lot of people don't write you back, which is tough. And but I'm not really that kind of producer. I learned from the great Denise Casino at DreamWorks, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I'm gonna chase you. When I
It's
wake up
true.
on the wrong side of the bed, I'm gonna shoot you a polite message and say, "Hey, did you get this message?" And if you don't do it the next day, I'm gonna shoot you another message and say, "Yo, did you see the message about the message? Yo, did you see the message about the message?"
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, they wrote back and said, "We're gonna pass this time around, or at this time, I believe."
But you got your
And
response.
I did get my response, but you learn and you live and learn. And next book, I will know ahead of time that has to be
Yeah.
sorted out. So much of the learning process with this, and it's a lot, and just doing the best we can, and wouldn't be able to do it without you.
You have done a
You
fantastic job with all of it. It is impressive, all the juggling and all the figuring out. I mean, you're literally doing a podcast right now.
I
You
am.
just decided one day, I'm going to do a podcast.
We are, yeah, and I think
Yeah,
they're pretty cool,
I'm doing it all.
especially now that I got your beautiful face on. And
Thank you.
thank you for taking the time. And we had to squeeze this in between Uh,
Hmm.
Naps and not naps for us, but
Unfortunately.
yeah, baby naps and during baby naps and between swim lessons and
Yeah.
first week of preschool,
Hmm.
which I didn't really handle well, but I digress. Um,
We made it.
I
We made it
definitely
through.
we did, and the book we made it through, and we definitely made it through because of you and me, but I can't thank you enough for everything. And I wish we had time on the podcast to say it all. But
Thank you.
thank you.
It is an honor to be your support and watch your process and just, help you continue because I know the work that you're doing is so beautiful and important. And it was like, I think early on, it was like, I promise I am not going to let you quit. Like, no matter what, even if you come storming up here saying, I quit, I quit, I quit, it's like, okay, I'll let you think you're going to quit for right now, but tomorrow you are not quitting. And it's just, I'm so glad that you pushed through and it was a not an easy feat to create this book, not just to create it, but then to do all the back end and the marketing and the promotion and stuff that I know is not really your jam of choice, but you just want to be creating. But this book is really worth it, and it deserves every opportunity to be out there. And as much as we can, let's put everything into it and share it with the world. That's the goal. I believe in you.
Yeah, I quit.
For now. He thinks he's quitting, but he's not ever. It's really all about never giving up. That's his mantra. But I guess I'm going to go. Bye.
Eclipse of the Morning Star is available anywhere books are sold online. But the best place is at eclipseofthemorningstar.com or eotms.com.